Hi and welcome to Ottawa Eats. I'm your host Tom Schoch. What's the cliche? The cook, the baker, and the candlestick maker or something? Anyway, this week we didn't find the candlestick maker or the cook, but we've got a baker, and her name's Jess, and we're at Bread by Us on Ottawa Eats. This week on Ottawa Eats, we thought we'd make some bread, and well, we thought maybe we should ask an expert. So Jess, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
This is Bread by Us. She's the us. Are you the us?
No, we are all the us. I'm me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those things, what are those words called? Pronouns? Words?
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot right now.
I don't know. Yeah, this is a show about food, not language, Tom. So let's talk about where you are and why you're here.
We are in the lovely neighborhood of Hintonburg, which is a beautiful place to have a bakery. Our community is hungry for good bread.
Yeah.
I'm here in the hopes to provide this community with awesome bread. I'm here because I absolutely love baking, and I decided a few years ago that this is all I want to do.
Now, where did this love of baking come from? Is this a family thing, something that was instilled in you, or where did you get this love of baked goods?
I've been a lover of baked goods ever since I could eat. I took it for granted at the time, I guess, but I always had fresh baked goods, fresh bread, fresh pizza at home, courtesy of my wonderful live-in grandma. And as I got older, I just continued to want to learn those traditions. And found it difficult to find the types of bread that I was used to eating once it wasn't a regular part of my life anymore. But the actual passion and drive for becoming a professional baker came a little bit later, after I had done a lot of other schooling in unrelated fields. But it began as a hobby and just completely took over, and I decided, if I just want to do this all the time, why don't I do it professionally, and never look back since I made that decision.
Right, so you're kind of the classic example of a hobby that became a passion that became how you make your living.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. It took a bit of courage to make that leap, but at the time it felt really natural and right.
I'm going to put you on the spot here one more time, okay? All right. What is when we're talking about taste, what is your absolute favorite baked good to eat? And I'm talking bread, pastries, cookies, everything. It goes in the oven, you're baking it. What is it that you're going to reach for first? You're actually thinking about this. I like this.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't answer anything without thinking about it. I would say what I reach for most regularly is a basic baguette.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. So I absolutely love all my bread equally. I give life to them every day, and I bake them every day, and I love them all, just like you would love all your children equally.
Right.
Of course. But the thing that I gravitate towards with my meals is a very lean, simple baguette. All
right. So the whole traditional image of somebody who has let's say a horrible breakup, and they're sitting there with a thing of ice cream or chocolates, you're eating a baguette?
My desert island food, for anybody who knows me well, is a container of olives and a really sharp cheese and a baguette.
Wow.
And I'm a simple person. I love simplicity, and that's all I would need.
All right, so for some people, the perfect woman. There you go. Okay, now we're going to hop into the kitchen with Jess, and we're going to actually make some of these great creations that we've talked about, and maybe get as dirty as her apron is.
Oh, God.
Don't feel shame. It's good. It's good. Now we're in the kitchen, so we're obviously going to be making some bread. So bread number one is?
This is going to become our croissant.
Okay, so there's a whole process to this. It's not just basically creating the dough and then just folding it up and there you go. What is this that you're doing right here? What is happening here?
Okay, so this is a dough that I've mixed a few hours ago.
Okay.
So it's had a chance to chill in the fridge, which is really important for croissant making. We want distinct layers of croissant dough and butter, croissant dough and butter.
Okay.
We have to flatten this butter, and the goal is for it to be cold and malleable simultaneously. So this is a bit cold still.
Can I just say that I'm a little afeard of you with a big stick?
You asked me what I like to eat. This is my favorite thing to do.
Oh,
I absolutely love making croissants.
Should I give you some room here?
Step back.
Just gonna get out of the way.
So basically, okay.
And this is why your apron is dirty.
Absolutely.
It's a full contact sport when you're baking.
It absolutely is. So that's about the thickness we're looking for. We want it to be really rectangular. The next step is to flatten out our dough a little bit.
That is the biggest rolling pin I've ever seen.
Gives you good leverage. Basically, we're looking for about double the size of the butter piece because we're basically going to fold the butter into it kind of like a pocket. And then just so that there aren't any pieces of dough that are butterless, we just want to try to get it all the way to the edges.
Now, is this just your standard kind of butter? Is this unsalted butter, or what is this?
This is an unsalted butter. It's very high in fat. This is around 87% fat, whereas the butter you normally find at the store is closer to 83, 82%.
Right.
Which is pretty watery.
This is specifically for this type of bread, though.
This is amazing for pastries. It's absolutely amazing. It's super flavorful and very malleable, so it makes my life a little easier when I'm making pastries. And there you go.
Oh, it's like a sleeping bag.
Absolutely. So that's our first dough butter layer. So once we have our pocket, this is where we cross our fingers and hope that the temperatures of the two components are around the same. Because now we're going to flatten it again. And the hope is that your butter doesn't break apart into a million pieces. That won't make a nice final product, but if you'd like to feel that, it feels smooth. You don't feel a lot of little pieces of butter. Nice and cool.
Yeah. Can I just say that you're really strong?
I do this twice a day, every day. I feel like all my muscles are like concentrated into this one area that's like relevant for pastries because I don't exercise apart from my work. Unabashedly. So would you like to try the second turn, as it's called?
What's the second turn?
So did you catch what I just did there? Were you paying attention?
Not enough to do it well.
Okay, I'll walk you through it. So basically I just folded it once. Now we're going to do the exact same thing again. So this is going to be tomorrow's croissant. So we will actually be selling this. So good luck. Pick up the rolling pin.
Oh, it's already heavy.
And just start flattening it out.
Okay,
you
so
have
I'm just
to be
going
swift.
Swift?
Yep, back and forth. Yep. If you feel like the pastry is sticking to the table, loosen it up a little bit with your hands.
Okay. Is there like a certain technique? Am I
You're doing
okay?
great. Yeah, you're natural. Absolutely. You want to make sure that it's all the same thickness. So
Are we close?
there's like a bit of a fat spot there. You want to push down a little harder. Same with here. Yeah. No.
My arms aren't that long, Jess.
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
And now you'll just turn it because it's too long for comfort. I'll help you.
Yeah, thank you.
And then you'll want to widen it a bit this way now.
All right.
Starting on that end and just go
Oh,
for
this
it.
is so weak, Jess!
You have to be really assertive. That's the key to being a good baker. That's what
I'm
I
not
tell all the
assertive.
bakers.
I'm very wishy-washy.
This is good training then.
I didn't know that this was going to be a whole exercise in being assertive. I thought we were coming here to bake.
It's a mental and physical exercise.
You tell me when.
Okay,
You're the thickness
it's getting
judge.
away from you, so it's a bit easier if you let it, if you bring it closer.
Oh, so you don't have to chase the dough.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Keep going, almost there, a little faster.
Wow, speed's
You just don't want it to warm up, that's all.
Right, gotcha.
Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So now you're gonna fold it
Okay.
like a letter. This is called a letter fold. So one end
I don't even
goes
fold my
here,
laundry. I don't even know how to do that.
and then on top. So it's gonna be in 3.
Oh, God.
You got this. You got this.
So what, where? Oh,
Yeah,
God.
go, go, go.
Like this? Is that
Yeah,
too far?
just like a letter.
And then this one over top?
Well, you want it to be 3 even pieces. So there
I'm
you
also
go.
not good at math. There's a lot of things I'm not good at.
Oh my gosh, that is spectacular. The butter didn't break apart or anything.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I didn't break anything.
So now we have to let it rest in the fridge. We
Okay.
can't do more than 2 because what happens is it tightens up. So it would be like really hard to stretch this out one more time.
Right.
So we just need to let it rest.
Okay, perfect.
A practice in patience.
Exhausted.
You all right?
With croissants, it's a process, and now you're at the actual shaping process, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. So what we've done is we've done a third turn on that first dough that you and I started together, and now we've rolled it out to a certain thickness, and this is going to be the final thickness of our pastries. And so croissant dough is very versatile. It's kind of hovers between savory and sweet, so you can do lots of different things with it. I'm going to show you 3 different types of pastries today and how to shape them.
Okay.
So the first one is your basic butter croissant. And so a basic croissant are just triangles.
Kind of look like pizza slices.
Yeah, exactly. And then what I like to do is cut a little slit there. That helps it to kind of open up as we're shaping them. Now, I'm not really a by-the-book person, so I'm sure somebody is getting angry at the way I'm doing it, but it works for us.
Right.
And this is how I stick with it. But basically, I roll towards me. Some people say you should roll away, but that's the gist of it. So
wow, and that's a nice size too. Okay.
It is a nice size.
So that's your standard size. This is what you would have, right?
Pretty standard.
Okay.
Yeah, every bakery has their own style. This is what we like. It's very substantial. This is breakfast. You know, you don't need a whole lot more.
Right.
You know, it's good value for your buck, I think.
I can't help but notice how you didn't put a hot dog in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
You know, you could pretty much put whatever you want in it. Our customers are very sophisticated. They appreciate a nice...
So no hot dogs.
There's no nice way of saying this, but no hot dogs. No hot dogs. So that's our first croissant demo. The next one I'll show you is a Danish. Oh. And there's lots of different ways that you can shape Danishes. I particularly like a diamond shape. So you'll cut squares out of it.
Would this kind of dough be standard for most pastries, like a Danish croissant? And what else would be included in this kind of...
So Danishes, pain au chocolat, almond croissants. You can do fruit Danishes, meat Danishes.
Okay.
Any of those things. We've gone bonkers and done things like pickles in a blanket, or usually puff pastry is used for things like that, but croissant dough works well as well. So with these, we give them a little more of a rollout, so just a little flatter. I'll let you try one. It'll probably blow your mind, but don't be intimidated. Once you do one, you won't forget.
Neither will you. Yeah. This is why we don't ask Tom to do things.
So let's do it together at the same time.
Okay.
So that's your knife, this is mine.
Oh, I'm going to need a knife?
So, yeah.
Oh, God.
So you'll want to take one corner, fold it over, so that they're nice and even.
Do I need to fold it in the...
Just leave it there. Pat it down a little bit. Grab your knife, cut up until about a centimeter.
Oh, yeah, right.
Wait. You're cutting the wrong side.
Am I?
Yes.
What side am I cutting?
You want to cut here.
Oh!
Yep. You got it.
This is why you're here.
Yeah.
Is that like that?
Yes. I'm going to micromanage this situation.
That's probably for the best.
All right. Yeah. That's pretty close. And then you want to go to the other side and cut almost all the way to where you cut the other one, but you don't want to cut this piece out.
Don't want them to touch. Gotcha.
Okay. Perfect.
Sticky.
Now unfold it. You got to work fast because then the butter is melting,
unfold
right?
It?
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh. A little mishap, but that's okay. It's not fatal. It's not fatal. So you want to take, you want to take this end here.
Which end is
this
that?
one.
Oh.
This one. It's supposed to be stuck together.
Yeah, there we go. Nice fix. Nice fix.
You know.
And
fold it over.
Yeah.
Right to here. That one more move.
Okay.
And then we're done. Fold over And there you go. That's the base of your Danish.
Which ones look better?
You won't even be able to tell when it's baked.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay,
Somebody here does this for a living and somebody doesn't.
So now lift it up, put it on the pan.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so there's 2 Danishes.
Okay. Well,
Now-
one Danish.
1.8.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the last one I'm going to show you is our cinnamon snail, we call them. So you want cinnamon and sugar. This is basically your cinnamon bun, but made with croissant pastry, so it's extra special. And then we take brown sugar. I've been known to maybe add too much of stuff, and I like it. I think more is more. So lots of cinnamon there. Roll it up. And you can do this with like all sorts of things. You can do savory snails. It's really just a nice way to utilize whatever you have kicking around. But cinnamon and sugar is pretty much everyone's favorite combination. So there we go. We've got 4 snails.
Okay, so we have one more step with all this, right? You
Yes,
just let it
the
rise?
final step is that we will let it rise, but we want to do it in a nice, like, damp, warm place, unless we have all day, but we don't. So we're going to put it into our proofer,
Okay.
which is our little cheating mechanism here, just to get it to rise one more time. Once they look really big and fluffy, we're going to put some egg wash on them, throw them in the oven, and that's it.
All right, can't wait to see the finished product.
Yeah.
Well, yours, anyway, not mine. So the final kind of bread, one of the many things that you make here, is a focaccia bread. Now this is something you told me is similar to pizza dough, same type of thing?
It's very versatile, so it can be used as a plushy flatbread, which is known as focaccia, or you can thin it out even more and treat it as a pizza dough.
You said it's a wet dough. What does that mean exactly?
So, if you take a look at the final dough, you can see that it is has a rather high proportion of water to flour.
Okay.
So if you touch it, it's very sticky. If you compare that to, let's say, something like this,
Right.
it's rather stiff in comparison.
Okay.
It's not. Wouldn't be considered a stiff dough, but compared to this, it is.
And is it water? That's the difference, really?
It's the quantity of water in relation to the flour.
Okay.
So, quick crash course on baker's percentages. This would be 80% hydration, which means for every 100 grams of flour, there's 80 grams of water.
Gotcha.
Whereas something like the sourdough is a bit different than that.
Okay. And I also noticed the bubbles. Is that something you want in this as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you think of, the most amazing thin crust pizzas, they're often really bubbly and have like an irregular crumb. So it's not just, like a uniform crumb. It's very,
Right.
got those like nice blistery bubbles. That's all about letting it ferment for a really long time, lots of fermentation time, and then also the wetness of the dough will get you there. And so that's my favorite way of doing a pizza dough.
All right. So what's the next step here in getting this ready for the front of the store for sale?
So to get this ready, we have to basically at this point just dump it onto the pan. So this will give us enough to fill a full sheet pan, which is this size here, and it won't be a thin crust, so if you wanted it thinner, you could just not use this whole thing, or divide it into 2 pans. Okay, so this has been fermenting overall since yesterday, so it's quite the long process, but that's what allows a really wet dough to develop strength. It's time. Time is key. And so we'll just flatten this out, and it helps to keep a damp and clean hand. So I keep some water handy and flatten it out. So water actually repels dough.
Right.
People tend to see, flour being tossed around, but really if you just keep a wet hand, it'll help you get to where you need to be. Are you interested in giving that a try?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So dampen your hands.
Okay.
We basically need to get this to go out to the edges and stay
Okay.
there.
And how are you doing that? You're just kind of pushing it out?
Yes, assertive, quick motions. So
I'm neither quick nor assertive.
Yeah, so find the fat spots
Yeah.
and really get in there and push. You got
And
it.
you don't want to push, you don't want it to
Absolutely
tear, right?
Exactly.
Obviously.
Yep.
Okay. Just a little bit more. More juice on my hands.
Yeah, exactly. See
You
how
want
it
it right to the
repels really
corners?
nicely? We'll try, but you can't really force dough to do something it doesn't want to. So you
Right.
see how it's bouncing back?
Yeah, so
it
you're at
means
your
it
limit?
needs time to relax.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just stop there. And if you want, you can go from this side, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll go from this side. And I like to keep it super simple because the dough itself has so much flavor, so you don't really need to overdo it with toppings.
Okay.
So we just sort of space out some nice ripe tomatoes. Honestly, you can really obviously do whatever you like, but tomato, sausage, and cheese is a crowd pleaser, most people's favorite.
At the same time, you're still pulling the dough apart?
Yeah, every once in a while I'll see what its limits are and try to get it there. It's almost a bit easier when the tomatoes are on because it helps you to...
Gives you a little bit of grip.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It helps to repel the dough from your hand. We'll probably use all of these tomatoes. And then your favorite dry cured meat. This is a lovely dry saucisson from Seed to Sausage.
You just kind of
Delicious,
put that all over?
and just go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, not be shy.
Here we go.
I like how you're so liberal with the meats.
Absolutely. That's why people keep coming back. Yeah. And so it's like an art to not totally deflate it.
Right.
Because you definitely want to keep those bubbles in there. And then I'll give you some cheese. We like to use a nice sharp cheese, lots of flavor.
Are you overlapping at all or no?
A little overlap, yeah. So this will continue to rise and all the ingredients will expand a little bit. So overlapping is not a bad idea. And that's it. And this is pretty much ready to go in the oven at any time. This, because it's a flatbread, it doesn't need to do a final proof, although you could if you wanted to, but it is absolutely ready to bake. And we like to finish this off with a bit of cracked pepper. And this can go straight into the oven now.
This is almost like pizza.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep.
And you said that at the beginning.
Exactly.
If people
this
were
will
paying
be
attention.
a little bit fluffier than your average pizza, so
Right.
super substantial, a really like solid lunch.
There you go. Perfect. Beautiful. Look at that.
Yeah.
See, she is the perfect woman. That's twice in one show.
Amazing. I've never been called that before. That's amazing.
Well, that's it. That's another episode of Ottawa Eats. And as you can see, we're going to take out our final product, the focaccia.
Exciting.
I love this. Yeah, it's the big giant spoon or ladle.
So I've removed it from
Wow.
the pan for the last minute to get it nice and crispy.
Look at that.
Oh yeah. So after a while you get used to the heat on your fingers.
All right, so people are looking for you. Where can they find you?
All right, so we are at 1065 Wellington West in Hintonburg. You can get us online at www.breadbys.com. Fairly simple. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Bread by Us.
Look at this.
Yeah, so careful there, but
Yeah. Funny story. I really burn my mouth a lot on this show. So
okay, well, you're in for a treat.
I'm gonna. How hot is this?
You want to blow.
I will try this after the show. Thanks for watching Ottawa Eats.
How does it smell though?
It smells amazing. Maybe just a piece. Oh, it's too hot.